Welcome back to our interview with Tracy Rath, who is running for District 2 City Council seat. Welcome again, Tracy.
Thank you.
As we talked a little bit about who you were last time, let's delve a little deeper into our city issues. What do you feel is the most important issue facing the city of McKinney in the next 24 months?
Not to simplify it, but I think the number one issue is communication. I think that we have the potential, certainly in the very rough economy we have, I know that I see our city employees are frustrated by lack of communication.
When you say communication, are you meaning communication from council as a whole, from the city offices, or?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. Recently, we've just completed a city manager search, and I had city employees calling me to say, please tell us what's going on with the search. We don't know. Certainly in this economy, we've consistently had city employees, the least number of city employees to citizen or resident ratio. And with their hiring freeze and pay salary freeze the last couple of years, I think certainly communicating to them from the city manager's office to let them know what's going on, to help them feel more secure in their positions, is something that we can easily do to make them feel better about getting up and coming to work every day. I mean, I get that they're lucky to have a job. There are so many cities that are in worse financial shape than we are, but that's such a no-brainer in my book to raise morale. It's really that simple. I think that's one thing that we can do.
Do you think that was made more difficult simply by the fact that we didn't have a city manager over most of this past year? So do you think we can attribute some of that communication or lack thereof to that fact?
Well, I mean, maybe that can be said, but we had 2 assistant city managers, and we had our Director of Parks, Rec, and Open Space step up as a deputy city manager. So, they seem to be handling the job okay. How hard is it to send an email? I mean, we have a pretty big communications department within the city, and certainly keeping their own employees informed shouldn't be out of the realm of their purview.
Okay, so if we address communication in the next 24 months, then what would you say are the biggest issues our city is facing in the next 5 to 10 years, if we're looking ahead?
Okay, I think, what are we going to look like at build out? I know that we have a comprehensive land use plan, but I also know from an MCDC perspective, we work closely with the Economic Development Corporation. I know that tourism has done a community inventory, and we know we've got some big gaps and some amenities and some things that our citizens would enjoy. Let's take a look at that and work to be proactive and go to those companies or that particular commercial development, and let's be more proactive about getting them to come here and filling in those spaces instead of sitting here and waiting for someone to come to us.
Okay.
And again, it gets back to that communication component. We have citizens that work all over the world. My husband works for a company based in Germany, and we need to be utilizing our citizens and their expertise and pulling them in to help us determine what McKinney's going to look like in 10 years.
So do you have a thought on what you think our city will look like?
Based on what we're looking at now, hopefully it will be different. We have some major corridors, certainly up for grabs is what's going to happen to the Gateway development at 121 and 75. We're hearing a lot of different things about that now, and I'm not sure what's going to come to fruition. I know from an MCDC perspective, we look to partner with council when they make those decisions and set their priorities. So I'm not really sure.
What do you want our city to be like?
I like our gateways to be softened. I see Highway 5 as a huge potential to get it right, to pay homage to our historic downtown and our historic district. I'm looking forward to the work that's going on there. Certainly the bond that McKinney passed will provide some infrastructure improvements for that area. So I think that certainly as you come to the south from 75, there's an opportunity there to make that corridor more attractive. I mean, I think we can do better than what we did coming into McKinney going north.
So actually, a thought comes to my mind. I attended the city's sustainability seminar or meeting a couple of weeks ago, and the focus of that meeting was to get city resident input on what sustainability means to us as citizens. And I found it really interesting that in most cases, the people at my tables would discuss at length the reasons they came to McKinney. Most of them have come within the last 5 to 10 years. And many of them would state very clearly, I moved to McKinney because I wanted this quality of life. However, the thing I found most interesting was that during the conversation, they also would then say in the next breath, our taxes are way too high. How do we fix that? But we don't want strip malls. We like our quality of life the way it is. We like our community the way it is. We like our open spaces. But we have this issue with needing to grow our retail and our tax base, commercial tax base. So how would you address that? It's clearly a very incongruent message that we're receiving from our citizens. They want this, but they want that. And of course, that's typical of the citizen's request to someone in a leadership role. So how would you address that?
Yeah, I mean, don't you think everyone wants to shut the door after they got here? I mean,
yes.
That's kind of the message that I've heard throughout the years. Moving here as early as we did, I certainly am aware of the growth that McKinney has gone through in the last, I don't know, we moved here in 1987, so it's been a while. I think that you address it in much the same way. Again, the master comprehensive plan, let's fill in the blanks of what we want to do, keep listening to our citizens. They're the best measure. We need to listen to why they moved here. MCDC contributes 35% of the 4B tax fund, sales tax dollars, to our Parks Department. So it's improving the accessibility and making it easier to get around McKinney, connecting our hike and bike trails and providing those amenities that our community comes to expect. We've got to be creative. We've got to learn to partner with people that are doing it right. I think sometimes from the city, it's easy to say, we'll go to MCDC, we'll go to EDC, we'll go to the general fund and create this. Let's do what I was able to accomplish at the Impact. Let's go to the Encore Wires and the Market Streets and ask them to partner with us. Certainly from a larger thing, as we talk about the natatorium and water park complex that we so know our citizens need, let's see who's doing it right in other cities and let's partner with them. It's so attractive here. Everybody wants to live in McKinney. We didn't get to be number 5 for no reason. But we're going to have to do some things differently, and it's not typically how a city government has worked in the past.
Okay. Please check back with us as Town Square Buzz continues our last phase of our interview with Tracy Rath.